and welcome back to my playthrough of Cooper Island, me playing against Cooper. And yes, of course, I made two mistakes, and thanks so much for all the clever guys who are watching over me. One particularly was Carcass1986, who pointed pretty much two rule errors out to me. Good thing is I can repair both of those at least. Yeah, more or less at least. First thing was the discard pile. We are not shuffling everything together. We are only taking the current discard pile and put it on top of his action deck, which of course makes it much tougher for us because the same cards keep coming up. And then this action here seems way more powerful as soon as I will be able later on to unlock some of my workers here, for example. So that's the first thing. So I will take these three cards. I believe these were the cards played. I will shuffle them and simply will put them on top of the deck. The second thing is really something that's relatively easily fixed. Is about the neutral worker here. I place pretty much a yellow worker on each of the actions I was using, but that's also not true. It's even printed here in bold that you only do that for A, C, E, and G. Apparently, the neutral player will not want to interfere with the actions of Cooper, only with me. So that's the reason I removed the second disc here. But it's very likely that Cooper will go there with his very first action, then we are in the same boat, but then of course he will get some victory points for that, and that's pretty much the name of the game here. Apart from that, I think I'm okay. Not too many things did happen, apparently, so it's already pretty embarrassing as it is that I've made these two errors. But yeah, I told you I never played against Cooper before, so it makes sense. And again, really appreciate your comments on this. And yeah, I think without further ado, let's get back to the game. And yet again, we will start with our income phase here. Now we will start with this one here, because why not? We need the money anyway. So we will get a coin. That's our first step. Again, we can do that in any order we would like. Then we get to place our island tile and then our last remaining double landscape tile. Really that's really a mouthful. But yeah, it's what it is. I think, yeah, we might as well start with the island tile. And now I'm already regretting that I got 2 movement points out of this, because if this ship would have been here, I could have placed one here. And then with the next movement, I could activate the same tile here again. But as it is, that's not gonna happen. So maybe we would rather want to do pretty much this here and place our next tile there. This could be, I think maybe that's what we should be doing. And I think, yeah, we need new landscape tiles. I think that's really key. So we'll place it here. We will also place 1 stone on top of the mountain. And by the way, there is a way, that's the only way to get gold, or the easy way to get gold is when you basically build the 3rd level of mountain, you can then choose if you want to have gold or stone. Right now it has to be stone. And yeah, apparently we will get 1 draw from the big bag, and it's really a massive bag. Nothing like the original version of Snowdonia. And yeah, that's the tile we've drawn. Okay, let's see what we can do with it later on. And next we want to place one of those tiles. That's really something that we need to do. I need wood because I want to build my 2nd income boat. That's important, but I also need food. So I think overall it wouldn't hurt to go for this tile here and place it accordingly. Now I have to follow some rules. So I have to pretty much build the same landscape types on top of each landscape type. So I cannot build this mountain now, this forest now on top of the mountain. So really forest needs to go on forest, and this, I don't know what it is, needs to go onto this before. There's one exception to that, and those, I believe those are towns or villages. They can really be built on anything, and they provide you cloth, which is also a very important resource. But I think in this case, let's keep it simple. Yeah, I don't know, doesn't really matter too much. Let's place it like this. Again, I get new resource cubes on top of this. So here's wood, here is some food, and again, now they're on level 2, so they count for 2 resources. The same. That's really a very clever mechanic in this game, actually. But I think with that being said, that's already the end of our income step. Yeah, nothing else to do. So we move into the action step now. We will start with Cooper, and again, It's exactly, there are 3 cards on top of this, and he's choosing the card I need. Wow, that's tough. Okay, we know the drill. We haven't unlocked a special worker, so he will simply go for one of his round worker. And yeah, he will place it accordingly on top of this action space here. So now again, if I have to go there, I need to pay first. And that really hurts like crazy. It's what it is. Of course, we must not forget the bottom part here. We know he has this Royal Order card in his Royal Order display, so he immediately gains an additional helm point, which again is another victory point for him. So he now already scored 4 points out of his movements, and because of the difficulty card here, he also has 20 more points. So in total he already scored 24 points. I moved my ship 2 spaces, so that's pretty much 2 victory points. Isn't that great? Now it's back to me, or basically my first turn of this round. Again, I still want to go for a second income boat, but because he already went to that action space, there is no rush, and he will not go there again. And we also know no neutral player will go there. So we might want to consider if we want to go somewhere else. We know for a fact that D and H are now the next card on his decks here. So which is something which we already know. D would allow us to build, which is also very important, but again, I think I need my second worker, and in order to get my second worker, my third worker, I need a second boat in order to unlock a milestone. H on the other side, or on the other hand, is this delivery space here. And yeah, in order to deliver something, we need gold and cloth. At least if we want to deliver here. We can also deliver here, but here we are getting a discount because of the Harbor Master still standing up. I could go there if I would have 5 gold and 2 cloth. Let's go for it. Go for 2 helm points here. But yeah, not gonna happen either. So I think our best bet still is to go for either this, getting an extra tile, and place an extra tile. And we need an additional tile in order to get enough food. But we can give this extra food also through different means, so I'm not really too concerned about that either. Or we could go and clean a ruin, and this will give us then the possibility later on to build a statue. And a statue could also provide us some ongoing victory points. So the sooner we do that, the better it is. So I think this is definitely something that we should consider. And maybe because we still have one guy here, one tile here for the next round, I still feel kind of okay actually. So yeah, let's go to this base here. So that's F, and again, this allows us now to either remove a ruin from our Peninsula, or we can build a statue. Right now we are not working on a statue yet, so yeah, we have to clear a ruin first, and I think, yeah, let's do that. And as I also want to unlock this space here, this passage here, I think let's go for let's go for this one here. So we will remove this ruin, we flip it to the other side, and this now tells us, okay, now we are working on a statue. So the next time we go there, we can build a statue. Problem is, we cannot go there this round because we already have a round worker there. If I will go for one of my special workers instead later on, and I get to choose, I can do that whenever I like. As soon as I unlock this milestone here, apparently, I can go for another round worker here, so a standard worker, or I can trade in one of my special workers, my normal workers, to get a special worker, which is also important because this then allows us to start scoring on one of those, what are those, Royal Order cards, I believe. So this can also give us some points. So for example, I could say, I don't know, I want to build 3 statues, and then if I will be successful with that, I would score 3 extra helm points at the end of the game. Or I can go for high landscapes, for example, or whatever it is. So there are a lot of possibilities. The easy ones, unfortunately, are currently with Cooper, so I cannot go for those. So those are exclusive to him, so he's scoring points all the time with those, apparently. That's kind of a bummer. And this kind of goes against my strategy, building a lot of income boats, because usually if you build a lot of income boats, you also want to make sure you go to one of those royal favor cards that correspond to that. No longer possible in this game. But yeah, anyway, I still, yeah, he has to take his net action. I think I'm done. I'm not taking any free actions right now. for now. So let's go for the next one. And now he's doing pretty much the same thing. He will send one worker there. So one normal worker from his pool will go to H1. I will place it right away. And right now the Harbor Master is upright. We will now lay him down. We know he doesn't have this Royal Order card, so nothing else will happen in this case. Back to me, and yeah, I think I have to swallow that pill. So I will go here. I will have to spend one resource in order to go there, and yeah, he will also gain another helm point. So he will now move over to this little, I don't know what it is, but he will basically go there. Normally, or for all the other players, they will now collect one of those log tiles. He will do that too, but he doesn't get any benefits from that. On the other side, on those tiles, they're usually nice things to get. For example, in this case, if I would cash it in, I would immediately gain one stone and one food. Not cashing in. When I get this, I do whatever it says on the back side, and then I will flip it back on. And this pretty much only tells me, hey, that my ship has now said, or in this case, his ship has sailed 5 spaces. So this equals 5 victory points for him at the end of the game. So we place it next to his array. So right now we know he already scored 25 points in total. We still have to pay a resource, and yet again we could go for gold, but we need money, but we need the money. So I think in this case, let's go again for the stone. We simply give it back to the reserve in this case. And now we are allowed to take that action. Of course, we have to pay, which also means we need now 2 woods. Keep in mind, this is on a level 2 landscape, so this equals 2 wood. It goes back to the reserve. We also need to pay 3 coins. Easy as that. We have that too. Awesome. And then we need to choose a ship, an income boat. This is kind of tempting because again, it gives us a lot of those tiles, but I get a tile right now as well. I believe I will go for it. This one is also great because having gold and cloth at the start of each round could be also really key actually. This would allow me to copy basically another player's boat, another boat. It could be also my boat, so I could say I need 2 coins this round. So it keeps you very flexible, at least when playing multiplayer. I think in the solo game may not be the most powerful thing. This one is also great because it gives us 1 extra space to store stuff, and we get these 3 resources whenever we need it. And to be honest, that's also tempting because this could really help us with future food problems, for example. And I think let's do that. We will go for this ship here. Again, we get 1 helm point because of the strategy card. I think that's, do you see it? No, you don't. As it's up here, we get an extra point, or basically an extra helm point for that. And I think in this case we want to go with the other ship. So this ship always goes clockwise, the other ship goes counterclockwise, and they will basically ship around the peninsula here. So we get 1, 2 points for that. We crossed over this island tile, which means we get yet another of those things. Again, they're not really that surprising. We will need those later on, but at least these were 2 more points. So overall, we have now at least scored 4 points, which isn't bad. But now a lot of other things will happen. We get the reward here right off the bat, and I think let's go for food right now, and we might as well store it here right away. So that's cool. Because we have built our 2nd income boat, we can flip this milestone here to the other side. And we get to choose when to activate this. And I think the time is now. So we will place it, move it over here. And this space allows us to either go for another of those round workers, or we can go for one of those special workers here. And again, if we do that, we would have to trade in yet another of those round tokens, the round tower markers. The problem now is, that's really maybe poor planning on my side, kind of at least, is we don't have any round workers in our reserve, and I cannot take those from the action I've already placed. So if I would go here for this special worker, I have to place 1 worker on one of those Royal Order cards. I cannot choose, I have to do that. And in this case, I would have to send this guy here. So it doesn't really help me at all. So in this case, again, but was really thinking about it anyway. So it was really something that I kind of prefer, having more workers before we go for maybe a special worker instead. I think that's now really, really key. And again, I get to choose if I want to go for this easy one. This costs us 1 food, one additional food at the end of this round. We are covered for that. Or I could go for this round worker here, which costs me 2 food, but also provides me a helm point if I'm able to feed all of my workers. I need 4 food. I should be able to get 4 food, so don't get me wrong. I think that's not really that big of a deal in the end. And getting those helm points could be key. And I think this is something, it's a risk I have to take maybe. I think so, yeah, let's go for it. So we will go for this advanced worker, for the extra worker here. Again, this could give us 1 extra helm point. And then we basically have yet another action, which is cool. But of course, first of all, we know that Cooper is taking action D. And that's the same thing. We don't have any special workers. So yet again, he will go for a round worker. He will place it onto space D. And we also know that he has this thing down there. And again, he will now score 1 extra helm point. I believe I'm using the wrong ship for Cooper, because usually the small ship goes clockwise and I'm using this big ship, but we have to remember that's not a big deal. I'm fine with that. Apart from that, I think he's not doing anything else. So it's back to us. Again, I could have opted to say, no, I'm not doing it this round. I don't want to feed extra workers. I'm fine. But apparently I need workers. So that's the reason why I went for it anyway. And that's actually, I think there are some good options now. And I think it's time to go for action space C. Yeah, let's go for it. So we will go in here. And this allows us to draw 1 thing out of the back. That's this thing here. So this. And it also allows us, it's a plus, to place 1 extra tile onto our island or onto our peninsula. And again, we have to make an interesting choice. This game is full of choices. I know we need 1 more food, which is something we should be able to get no matter what. We have 1 food in our store. We have 2 food here. Keep in mind, it's a level 2 area. So from that perspective, we should be okay. We need 1 more food actually, but that I think should be solvable. But we also want to get some extra, I think it's really time getting some extra. We need the settlement here, or the village, or whatever it is. And I think we want to place it here. On the other hand, we also want to do this. We want to close off this area here, but we cannot do this because we need to clear the ruins here first. So not gonna happen either. So I think let's stick to the plan, and maybe we keep it simple. Maybe we place it here. Or we go for an extra mountain range and place it like this, because again, we have the food. But on the other hand, if we do like this, we are fine in respect to food. Let's go for this. Apparently, we cannot easily place it like this, because we need a foundation for this settlement here. But this is where our cartographer comes into play, which allows us to do all kinds of stuff. In order to basically build a foundation for 1 of those, so basically to balance out 1 of the missing layers in between, we simply have to spend 1 of those cartographer points. And this allows us to place 1 of those tiles underneath it. So this is allowed. Usually you take the corresponding tile. It doesn't really matter, because in the end it's simply a foundation. So we place it like this. So now this is perfectly legal. Of course, we get the resources. So now we have even 2 food here. Maybe I should have gone for a different resource, but yeah, that's how it goes. Recording and thinking is really tough. And we get our first 2 cloth. I think that's great. We can trade cloth for coin later on. So 2 cloth are 1 coin. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And we are now good in respect to food for the end of the round, which means we get yet another victory point at the end of the round, which is nice. That's pretty much the end of my round. But one thing I forgot is this here. When you gain a new worker by moving blah blah blah, we did that to the higher space. Take any one of Cooper's milestone tokens from the general and place it here face down. Okay, let's put it like this. I think this is now something that we can then place on one of those spaces, so we can remove cards from the deck for the next round. So that's really something, at least. Let's keep that in mind. And after I've done so, of course, it's time to do his last action again. He goes before me and after me, so we will see a new card coming up. Okay, that's F1. Cooper places one normal worker. I think he still has a normal worker left, so that's fine. If the space, no, he will place it onto F1, which in this case is good, I guess, because it means he has to place a worker on top of my worker. Isn't that nice? So in this case, we may take any one resource cube of your choice from the depot. Oh, that's nice. And I think we want gold. Do we want gold or do we want... Oh, no, I think... interesting. Let's go for gold. I think gold is really key. It's important to us. Yeah, we totally take this. And we place it onto our marketplace. But again, I can immediately place it later on into my storage area. Okay, that's great. And place it onto you. Also, Cooper gains an anchor token. Okay, that's also very helpful, because this means the next time Cooper will move one space, we will first remove this anchor token here. So that's, yeah, in theory, -1 victory point. Okay, that's really nice, but also very counterproductive, because Cooper gains in any case 1 helm point. So yeah, we will remove it right off the bat, but better than nothing. And if he has this Royal Order card, no, he doesn't have that. He wouldn't have gotten an additional point for that. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. Let's do the cleanup. And again, we will return all the workers from Cooper back to his card. Okay, that's definitely something, and easily done. If there are any milestone tokens on this card, move each to one of the following free spaces of your choice and carry out that space's action as you cover it. Wow, that's really nice. I really have to think about this for a second, and there might be a high probability that I will go for a build action, actually. So I think choose one action card from the discard pile and place it face down at the bottom of Cooper's action deck. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go for this D card here. And again, we will place it onto the bottom of his stack. Oh, that's really nice. It's a one-time effect, but again, I will take it anyway. The remaining 3 cards are still being shuffled and placed on top of this, but of course I have to cover it up, so I cannot do the same thing again. So that's really nice. Awesome. Then we will shuffle the remaining 3 cards, and again, I will do this off camera. And then afterwards, we will basically do our cleanup phase, and then we have to remember step 5. And again, I have to remember that we only do this for AC and G spaces. First of all, let's feed our workers. We need 4 food, but that's not a problem. We have 2 food here and 2 food there. That's 4 food in total. Perfect, because we have fed all of our workers. We get the bonus from our newest worker, which means we get yet an additional helm point. And in this case, it doesn't really matter which guy we are moving, does it? No, I think it doesn't matter. So let's place this ship over here. That's another helm point for us. Amazing. Unfortunately, we haven't built a statue yet. We are not getting this bonus here because we haven't built a large building, or we haven't delivered something to the cargo ship. We don't get the extra point here because we have not discovered the passage here. Now our workers return. And I believe I forgot to remove this yellow worker too. We do that basically together with the workers from Cooper. But we are now getting new ones. So we are not placing a worker onto B, so that's fine. We are placing a worker onto C, a neutral one. And I think F is also out of bounds, so we are fine here. So that's the only neutral worker. And I think I misspoken earlier when I said that Cooper doesn't get a point when I go on top of this. that's unfortunately wrong. He does get a point, even when I place my worker on top of the neutral worker here as well. Then that's really something I should have done basically at the immediate start of this cleanup phase. We can move this as a free action. We can freely move this up to a storage space. And now we would basically wipe the marketplace, and only if we don't have enough space here, then this gold would have been lost. Of course, definitely devastating. Let's not do that. And I think, yeah, then we will move the Harbor Master into round 3 onto the next card. We will basically stand him back up, and then yeah, we can go there and deliver stuff and maybe score an awful lot of points, 2 points, and again we get this bonus here, which could really help us later on. But I think I have to stop my playthrough for today. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time, so I really hope that's fine with you, that I'm taking things slowly. Maybe with the next episode I can maybe either go for the full game or complete it the last remaining rounds, or I do one or maybe 2 more videos, maybe 2 rounds in the next one, and then a final round in the last video. But again, today I don't have enough time, unfortunately, even though I'm really eager to continue playing here apparently. Anyway, I really hope you're still enjoying my little playthrough of Cooper Island here. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. Again, a huge shout to all of my patrons out there who really help me, keeping me running, and for all your inputs. For again, without them I wouldn't have played Cooper Island in the first place, at least relatively sure about that. And yeah, really again appreciate your support. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.